And good morning. Feels just like that. It became Friday. This week has flown, hasn't it? Well, as we're waking up, don't forget this. It is extremely foggy. I just got in some pictures there from Jerry down in Shibuya. Extremely foggy. We've gotten near the airport this morning of pictures. Leave early if you've got to be somewhere. Hardly see there. I want to say good morning to Joyce Arrington. How are you today? Hadn't seen you in forever. Hope all is good. But I've never bumped into Joyce, and her hair wasn't perfect. She looked great. Bet you're looking that way now, girl. Good to see you. Let's see here. 60% chance of rain today. It'll most likely hit sometime after 3 o'clock is what we're expecting. 60% chance. Temperature's a little bit warmer today. We'll make it to 90. The heat index will make it to 97. So a warm afternoon is what we've got in store as we start all this. Well, a lot has gone on since the last 24 hours that we've seen. We'll take a look at what's happening nationwide, the state, and also some of the local events that have been going on. A great-looking weekend, as we said. We'll get into the forecast as well, kind of let you know what to expect and what's going on. Lots of folks stirring today. Linda Jane, how are you? Hadn't talked to you in a while either. Miss Janice Bounds is there. Dorothy Little. Barbara Kelly, how are you today? I see a bunch of y'all. And I'm going to work on Mary Gerdeau. Did I say that right? I'm trying my best to get my Cajun accent down. I can't say those very well. Saw a reminder from Southeast School, and I would imagine that most of Lauderdale County schools do this. If you've got a child that attends any of the county schools, you must have your parking decal on by Monday. They won't let you on campus on Tuesday. It costs $10. You got to provide driver's license and a copy of your insurance to the office to be able to bring your car on campus. So make sure to do that. And like I said, I would assume that most of these do this, and probably all of the schools in the area require proof of insurance. The way things have changed, it's not the old days anymore, is it? So that's happening this morning as we begin our day. One thing I wanted to bring up, boy, isn't this just a gorgeous picture? Let me show this. This was sent in just a little bit ago as we look to Preston, Mississippi. Let me blow this up. This is a great-looking picture there. Nothing like it, is it? Kemper County, as you'll look to that. Also, enjoy the pictures that are sent in. You can always inbox us and let's see what's going on in your area there. I got a picture there of the moon over the Mississippi River in Iowa. That's pretty. Let's pull that up and show that. That's gorgeous. Look at that. Sandra sent that in. That's absolutely gorgeous. As always, we love to see your pictures that you send in, no matter what's going on. Keeps us up to date what's occurring in our area. One of the things that happened earlier this morning, let's pull this up and show this. This was going on downtown Meridian. This was a little more than an hour ago. Thankfully, this ended up being nothing in the end as we look at this, as we pull this up here. This will be the scene downtown Meridian as we look toward the 3-foot building in the Riley Center. The Meridian Fire Department was on scene. It was reported there was smoke coming from the building and ended up in the end being nothing. So that's the good news out of that story. But scary there for a second or two as the Meridian Fire Department got to the scene. They went on the roof and checked everything out. Thank heavens it was nothing to it. I think a pipe had some smoke coming out of it, just a normal thing. But from the street level, it looked a little different there for a moment or two. Here's I-20 coming into Meridian this morning as we were talking about the fog. This is visibility. I'll be careful out there as it comes across a hood there. A lot thicker on the other side of that bridge, as you can see there. I'll keep bringing fog back up, but boy, it sure is hard to see in it. As we look at radar, quick glance at that of what's going on with it. Just look how thick this is. This is not just something I'm making up here. There you go. Look how thick this is. The gold is very thick. It's still most of downtown Meridian coming under it. But the further south you go through Quitman, and then you make it to Laurel, Hattiesburg, you'll be able to be good to see the fingers in front of you. We'll get back to radar here in just a little bit and fill you in on all of that as well. Let's see. Good morning there, Ann Hall. How are you? I see you're up and at 'em. Yesterday morning, we go to Clark County Hot Topics on this next one. This was the scene yesterday morning, not today. I missed this yesterday, but they had a wreck on 59 just into the Clark County line as we pull this up. As you'll see that, it was a truck pulling a trailer with a car on the back. As you can see off in the distance there's the car. They ran off the roadway, single vehicle accident, and it became a mess there quick. I think the people that were involved in the wreck were fortunate. They were thrown actually through the back glass. Ended up being okay. They were checked out, and as you say, a miracle kind of happened. So I'm glad for them. We're also getting reports from Clark County this morning of a stolen four-wheeler that was taken yesterday, which would have been on Thursday. Now, let's show you a picture of this. Let me blow this up a little bit bigger where you can see it good. This was stolen from Clark County. If you encounter this anywhere, make sure to get in touch with the Clark County Sheriff's Department. You can reach them at 776-5252. That was taken off County Road 322. Last I checked, those aren't cheap, and we just don't like it when people take our stuff, do we? No, we don't. That's what happened in Clark County yesterday as we look around. Now, one of the things that happened last night, as we were getting ready, it was right at bedtime last night, gunshots rang out in Meridian once again. Again, if you live in these areas, it's just not comfortable. You don't like it. A lot of these folks have lived in these areas all their life, and all of a sudden there's gunshots going around them all the time. A home was hit and somebody was struck last night. Not life-threatening, but that really doesn't matter, does it? Someone was shot. As we go here, the 2300 block of 42nd Avenue. That's where this is. Now let's back out here and show you on a map a little bit closer to where this is, where you can see it better. Let me go back over here. This, if you were to look at this, here we go. Here we go. This is going to be Highland Park. This is Royal Road, right up through here. It will be in this general area, north of there is where this would be, right there, in this general vicinity. The Way of the Truth Church, just north of there. Again, just north of Royal Road, north of Highland Park. That's where those gunshots rang out last night. Again, someone was struck in the hand after their home was hit. Who's tired of it? I think I am, and most likely you are too. Seems like every day, doesn't it? Well, we'll keep telling you about it. We're not going to let things like this go untold. We'll let you know where they happen, and as quickly as we can, to be as accurate as we can as we get information on this. As always, if you see something, hear something, let us know. Inbox us so we can dig into this and get all this information for everybody. Let's see here. Let's come across yesterday, and if you were out, and hopefully you were not involved in this, but there was, I don't know if we had really time. I'm not sure I got them all. There was one wreck after another and another yesterday. If you'll go back and look at our page here on Facebook, it is just filled with the numerous fender benders and accidents that happened. 18th Avenue was the scene of one of these as we take a look at this here this morning. This was one of these. Metro was called to the scene there. This was right down from Rush Health Systems, now called Ostner's, isn't it? Right down from there, one of the places there. And we also had, this one sounded to be a little bit more serious when it was first called out. It involved an 18-wheeler and a car. And anytime that you get word that a car has been involved, and we'll look at this as these little graphics I put up here, in the end, what happened, a log truck was going down the road, and I had it in my head when I first found out about it opposite from this. But in the end, the 18-wheeler was slowing down for a mail truck, I believe is what it was, on the side of the road. He was slowing down, and the car behind him tapped the back of the log truck. Now, what is thankful on this was there were no logs on the truck. Had there been logs on that truck, it would have been a different story. But thank heavens it wasn't. I think everybody was checked out, nothing life-threatening there, but it sounded a lot worse whenever you hear a car and an 18-wheeler. It gives you the hibby-jibby, so to speak. But thankfully, it was nothing serious there. Shad White, as we look around. And as I said, there's numerous other wrecks. They were everywhere. The streets were wet. People were running off the road. And that can happen again this afternoon. It's Friday. Now, keep in mind, normally you have worse accidents or more accidents on a Friday because everybody's excited this weekend. They're ready to go home. They get off work and they take off. And the rain's going to move in after 3 o'clock. May not be heavy at times, but it puts that little film on the road. Tap those brakes, you're gone. As I said, Shad White has been busy once again. He goes back down to Jones County this morning. They've made another arrest as we pull this up. We go to the state auditor's Facebook page here, and we'll look at this. Here's the gentleman that's been arrested. This is an ongoing investigation. This dates back, I think, to January, as equipment was being used for personal gain in Jones County. Someone else that this gentleman worked for had already pleaded guilty. And he's been arrested now this week and pleaded guilty for his part of what went on there. The guilty plea was presented. Doesn't much slide past Shad, does it? They stay on this of what's going on in the communities. They brought back a lot of cash to the people of Mississippi, whether it's the white collar or just taken from a water bill. They do get on this. DUI case as we go to the southern portion of Mississippi. He'll spend 17 years in jail for drinking. Why? Drinking and driving and caused a wreck and killed someone. 17 years. He got more. Some of that is suspended. 5 years of it is on probation. But he should spend 17 years in jail. Now, I can't guarantee you after 3 years they don't re-examine it, as we often see, to where whatever his judgment is given, they get out early. But he did take another man's life, drinking and driving. Just awful. David Thompson Pickley, I believe is how you pronounce that, 30 years old, pleaded guilty for his crimes. Off to jail he goes. Now, our next story, and let me get into this. Each morning I've been bringing it up. As we learn more and more, if y'all remember 3 years ago, we knew nothing about the word COVID, did we? Nothing. Next thing we knew, our country was shut down. And I think we even got word yesterday that now you don't have to quarantine for anything. If you come in contact with someone, it's okay. Go on about your business. I'll find that story, so we'll have that at 8 o'clock this morning. The Mississippi State Department of Health announced yesterday that monkeypox vaccines are now available to those who qualify in portions of Mississippi. And here's the counties that are being available, just to let you know. They're now available in Lee, Panola, LaFleur, Lowndes, Lauderdale, Adams, Hinds, Forest, and Harrison counties. Okay, Lauderdale County is included in this. What does that tell us? Makes you go, huh, doesn't it? Now, and I'm going to read directly from Mississippi Department of Health's page here of who kind of qualifies for this. And we learn more about this, and I'll just read word for what it says. It says individuals 18 years or older may be eligible for the vaccine if they have been notified or aware that their close or intimate sexual contact with someone diagnosed with monkeypox, or identify as gay, bisexual, transgender, or other men who have sex with men who report having had multiple or anonymous sex partners, or having attended an event or venue where monkeypox may have been transmitted. For example, skin-to-skin contact. They've got in parentheses, sex on site. Straight from the health department page there, if you want to read more about that, of how this works and monkeypox. We're up to 8 cases in the state of Mississippi now. Now, there's other cases with the other states with a lot more cases. We're watching this. It's spreading. The nation at whole is leading the world. We've got over 10,000 cases of this now in the United States, highest among all nations. We'll watch it, and we'll tell you more about it. Prison chief, as we look at headlines across this, and this may be a good thing, wants to have inmates that are in jail be able to help with construction at Parchment. If you're in jail, be able to help build on this. It would be free labor, and it teaches people a trade that one day when they do get out, they would be able to go to work and be a part of society instead of not working. I think it's a good idea. What do you think? Let's hope so. That's the headlines this morning on that. Maybe that will happen. Y'all remember back when prisons grew their own food? They had gardens. They worked it every day. Lowered your costs, didn't it? Just a thought there. Not likely to happen anymore, is it? Let's see, Vicksburg, Mississippi. Boy, they made headlines on this as we talked to our friends over at Dark Horse Press. Vicksburg, a guy was breaking into a car. They caught him. He's now been connected with at least 9 other car burglaries. 9 of them. He's been arrested. I didn't say how long he'll spend in jail, did I? Because I don't know. It could be a slap on the hand and back out on the street quick. We're not real sure on that. We've had another Mississippian. And this is such a common thing in bad. Y'all know this as well as I do before I even read this. But a Mississippi man has been arrested after he was turned in. Somebody knew about it, and they inspected his phone. He had multiple videos of minor children and sexual content. He's been arrested. He'll spend some time behind bars. Sad news as we look right across the Tennessee line this morning as a youth football coach. A child fell into a ditch. He jumped in to save it. The child made it out. The coach did not. We pass along condolences to him, his family there, as he loses his life. So many, it was Germantown, Tennessee is where that happened. So many people give all for others, and the football coach did do that. Gave his life for a youngster. That'll be with that child from now on, that somebody gave their life for them. We go to Memphis. Memphis is not what it used to be, is it? It used to be you thought of going to Beale Street, Sun Records, Graceland, things of that, and didn't think anything about it. Now when you think of Memphis, you think, whew, it's crime-ridden. You'd be right if you're thinking that. A 74-year-old man is recovering now as he took his trash out. He was attacked and pistol whipped. They asked for his money. And like most Americans, and criminals people just don't carry money anymore. Could be that they don't have it, but for the most part, cash is just not on people anymore. They don't have that. Fellow was beaten up. He's going to be all right in the end, but that's pretty bad. 74-year-old man being attacked by two youngsters. Makes me sick, and it should you as well. We mentioned this thing on TikTok on the morning show last week to where your USB cord, I think I got one laying here, right this, TikTok, teaching people how to steal cars through a cell phone and connecting it to the car to steal cars. New Orleans, 7, 8, 10 cars already stolen because of the TikTok video. TikTok is responsible for a lot of things that go on. All of them may not be good, are they? It's the way where people are learning to do things. It's not always what's the word I'm looking for? Lawful. That's it. We learned this morning that she's this close as we learned about that wreck that happened this week. Ann Hetch. Remember, she was drinking and driving, possibly on some form of drugs, and she sped past somebody and hit their home 90 miles an hour. They're looking at more or less turning the plug off. They're going to donate her organs, ones that can be saved, to someone else. But moments away, I think today may be the day that they do all of that. She's brain dead is the way the headline reads on that. We learn more and more. Did anybody see the press conference? I missed it yesterday on Donald Trump. He says he's ready for the immediate release of the search warrant. As we dig into this and what comes out of this, they claim that they were looking for secret documents that dealt with nuclear weapons. They didn't specify if they were United States nuclear weapons or another country. As you'll get into all of this, as more and more of this comes out, there was an extra padlock on where it was, and they were, from what I'm understanding, in negotiations with officials to hand back over, and they'd been told to put an extra lock on the door where these items were. The search warrant came in and done this. This will either make Donald bigger. They're not real sure, as you'll listen to Kimberly, the girlfriend there, that bugs were not planted in the home. I don't know. First time a president's been done that way. A lot of people upset over that. We're going to wait and see what comes out in the news on this. Study it and watch wording very carefully. It didn't say it was there. It said that's what they were looking for. Sometimes casting doubt causes people to believe it. Just pay attention to the way things are worded. Remember, we heard Russia, 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 didn't we? Let's see. We go to New York next. Their biggest criminal. He's been arrested 167 times. Finally, he was caught this time taking $430 worth of stuff from Rite Aid. He was denied bail for the first time out of 167 times. Can you believe that? And then we wonder why crime is so bad in New York City. I mean, think about that. 167 times, and finally they're denying him bail. Think of the countless things that were stolen on that. How does a business make it? You take one person taking $500 worth of stuff from them, and it's going to be multiple people because they know that they're not going to be caught. I don't know how any business can survive. Not make a profit. You got to pay employees, the federal government, their portion of whatever you're making, insurance. It's tough out there. And lawmakers are not making it good for the little man anymore, are they? Something needs to be done. Remember Harvey Weinstein? Back in the news this morning as we have yet another actress say that she was 16 when she was attacked by this man. And she blames another company that he worked for at that time. She's going after damages now. Expect more of that to come. That won't be the first nor the last that's connected with all of this. It's a shame. And I knew about this as we looked at the music industry. Music industry, there was a lot of that went on as well. And if it was bad on the music industry, if someone trying to get a record deal, imagine what it was in Hollywood. There's horrors that we don't know. Parents that sent their children off to places like that you wouldn't expect executives to take advantage of their kids. It happened. It's probably still happening now across America, isn't it? People like that need to be stopped. It should be based on talent, not on other things. Gives me the hibby-jibbies. I'm sure it does you as well. And they need to be brought to justice like this Harvey was. There's more of them out there. Let's see here. I guess this is a deterrent to keep cars off the street. I don't care to drive in New York ever. It's bad enough going to Jackson, Mississippi with the traffic, or Atlanta, but New York probably is a notch above all that. I've never driven in New York City, but for the first time, they're going to start charging an extra $23, and they're going to call it a congestion fee. What are they trying to do? Well, they're trying to keep people from bringing their car into where they'll start using public transit, buses and things of that. It's in the Manhattan area. Will it cut back on the amount of cars? I don't know. But $23 is pretty, that's high. It says outside travelers could see fees as high as $120 for that to get in there. Talk about a stiff toll booth. There'll be more come out of this. This is just the early portion of this coming out, the news. We'll see what happens with that. This almost makes you scared. If you ever work outside, and there's a lot of you who do, wood chippers, Pennsylvania, a teenager, summer job, clothing, a shirt got caught and was pulled into a wood chipper, lost his life. Respect those things. Those are some of the headlines that are shaping America this morning as you're waking up on a local area and also around the nation this morning. We got a lot more on the way at 8 o'clock. Your forecast is next. We're going to tell you exactly what's shaping up with all of that next here as we begin this wonderful Friday morning. Isn't it great? It is. The Piggly Wiggly of Collinsville is passing along these great savings. Fresh blueberries, $2.99 a pint. Fresh plums, $1.99 a pound. Fresh strawberries, a 1-pound package, $2.99. Fresh peaches, $1.99 a pound. Heinz tomato ketchup, 32-ounce, $3.79. Coca-Cola products, 12-pack, 12-ounce cans, 2 for $11. And assorted pork chops, $1.79 a pound.
We're down home, down the street, Piggly Wiggly.
Rockhouse Gun and Pawn is open Monday through Saturday from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m. Lots of different calibers and brands to choose from when it comes to hunting rifles. Whether you're looking for a new pump shotgun or an AR, the Rockhouse will have the gun that you need. With a huge selection of ammunition for just about any caliber that you may be looking for. Pistols, scopes, and a whole lot more. Plus a private lobby for your confidentiality when it comes to your pawns. Rockhouse Gun and Pawn, located at 5430 Highway 19 North Meridian. As Dee said in the comments, connect the dots. Always pay attention to what's in the news. Sometimes you have to read between those lines, don't you? We'll try to pass along as much as we know when we do. Let's go back to radar. Boy, it is rough and fog out there this morning. If you have not left home, please pay attention as we pull this up to show you this. All of this area here is fog. And now the Meridian area is starting to see this red. That means it is extra thick as we zoom in on this. Let's turn on some locations now where you can see exactly. Livingston, Alabama, y'all have got it also. As we look at this, if you're in Decatur, Highway 15 all the way to Union, you are extremely covered with fog. All of I-20 back to Meridian out to Lost Gap. And it's going to be into Meridian, but it gets thicker right there at Lost Gap all the way on the other side of Newton. We go south and we follow this down. Highway 59, 20, as we look at this, well, 59 rather, and Highway 45, all this area down to Quitman, Past Jay's Taxidermy to Shibuya, we've gotten pictures. And we go back over here to Laurel, Hattiesburg. It's thick there as well. On a local level, it's some of the worst we've seen here in fog in quite some time. As we back out just to show you just how thick things are. Back over to Natchez. Our area's got it too. Starkville, West Point, if you're in those areas today, be careful is my words of advice as we begin this. Knoxville, it's a morning full of that. Now, we've got rain off the coast here in the Gulf, coming up on Biloxi, all this area from Mobile, Pensacola. Be careful. Navarre, we got Gulf Shores getting a bunch there. Foley, there's going to be a lot of rain mixed in with that today. That's the look at the radar. All right, let's get a closer look at what's happening on a local level as we get into your forecast.
Your forecast is brought to you by EMEPA, your Touchstone Energy Cooperative.
Record highs, record lows back in 54, 103 today. Whew, it was a cool day in 1967. 57 on this date as we go back to look at it. As we come across, showers are expected today as we see that fog already on here. High expected above 90 today. By the time you make it to Stark, Vegas, and Columbus, the rain will, go away. Light showers expected, picking up there at Louisville. And the further down you get right at the city limits of Meridian and southward, rain will be heavier, including Clark County, Hattiesburg, those areas there. Shibuya, y'all included in all that rain there toward the Gulf, toward the coast there. As we look across to Bama, Demopolis, kind of the line there of heavier rain southward toward the coast as well. 91 in Tuscaloosa. We'll get 90 over in Livingston, Alabama this morning as well. We glance across at this, the temperatures for the next 6 to 10 days. Cooler weather as we see this. We got temperatures expected to be 88 some days. For August, that's incredible. We do have that heat wave back out here on the west side of the United States. Hadn't quite made it here yet, but we're watching that. Now, let's get into the forecast of what we expect today of what's going to be happening. We do have a 60% chance of showers today. Now, that will roll in sometime most likely after 3 o'clock is when we'll have that. Otherwise, it'll be sunny, but after 3 o'clock, as you're getting off for the weekend, be careful, slick roads. A high today reaching that temperature right around 90. Heat index should reach 97. As we go into tonight, decreasing to a 30% chance of rain. Tomorrow, pretty much a great-looking day. Sunny with a high of 92. A smidgen of a chance of rain. Smidgen. We're going to have sunshine for the most part. Same goes for Sunday as well. Sunshine, 94 overall. As we go back to work on Monday, we increase to a 20% chance of showers. That's what we'll get there. And that'll come in again after 4 o'clock, late in the afternoon. Those temperatures, not bad. Look at Thursday, 84 degrees forecasted. That's almost shocking, isn't it? That'll be a cool day for us next week. As we jump ahead, 85, 86. Look at these temps. Nowhere does it even mention 90 as we get on past this weekend. Something to think on there. But we do have some rain chances back in there bringing that. Good news on the Gulf. Right now, there's absolutely no chance of anything. We'll watch this off the coast of Africa toward the end of next week. We're watching a system try to develop here. Nothing yet. This one has fizzed out that was coming across. That's the good news that we've got for you when it comes to the Atlantic and also the Gulf. Fishing times. Well, it's time to hit the water today. Looks like our next major time will be this afternoon about 2 o'clock, 2 to 4, right before the rain there. Wind's going to be calm and becoming northeast around 5 today, if you're wanting to know what the wind is when it comes to fishing. Well, that's a quick look at what we've got. 1 hour from now, we'll go live as we'll bring you an updated forecast. We'll bring in the morning show today. Make sure to join us. 1 hour from now, Candace will join me as well as we go live here as well on Fox 30 in Meridian. Thank y'all for joining, and we'll be back soon.
The Scotty Ray Report is brought to you by our following partners: